you doing? My name is Christopher Geiger, Coach Geiger to most. Born and raised Irmo, South Carolina, a little country town. Been there all my life for the first 18 years of my life. Grew up playing a lot of sports, played everything. My first love was baseball. Gravitated to football, and then ventured off into the military. And the military didn't have no baseball, and they definitely didn't have full contact football. So I gravitated to a little bit thing called basketball. Grew up a single parent with just me and my mom. But I had plenty of uncles and cousins around me, male figures that influenced me, gave me a lot of mentorship, taught me how to be a man. But my mother was truly the one that put her foot down and really showed me what it takes to just be a good person in this world. She had a sickness through high school, and it eventually claimed her life. But that was a big turning point for me, because that sickness forced me to really step out and be more responsible. Because while she was in the hospital, I had to figure out ways to help pay bills, doing little odd jobs, making money, just really stepping up, being a man at about 16. And from then on, you know, she got a little bit better, and I was able to push through, still, you know, going to school, kept my grades pretty decent. They weren't the best, but, you know, I was able to graduate. And at that time, I didn't know what I was gonna do. My mom was like, hey, you 18. You've already shown me you're responsible, you're a man. It's time for you to get out on your own. So I grabbed a little job at UPS, but that wasn't cutting it. I didn't want to go to college because I was just pretty much fed up with school. So I ended up going to the military, joining the Air Force. I think that was probably the best decision in my life, because it's carried me, and for pretty much 18 years, I ended up medically retiring. But that military lifestyle taught me even more of how to be responsible, how to be an adult. It taught me a trade that I can never do without. It taught me communication skills in the IT field. And with that background, you know, it's allowed me to make a really nice living for myself. And it's also taught me, you know, the appreciation of where I came from. You know, spent a lot of time overseas, and I ended up playing a lot of basketball, which is something that I never really took seriously, because I was always about football. And like I said, baseball was my first love, but I really stopped playing it in high school, and they didn't have it in the military, so I never played it then. So I picked up basketball, and it just really was, I never knew I would have such a love and a passion for it. And it just started to grow and grow and grow. And I got better, I practiced, I worked out, got better at it, and played it for about 18 years while I was in the military. I think my defining moment, I've had a couple, but the two that really stand out is, of course, when my mom got sick. You know, like I said, it allowed me to really step up and be responsible. But I also, around my 17th year in the military, I was getting myself together to retire at 20. And I had a very serious motorcycle accident. I ended up losing half my right leg. And at that time, my wife was pregnant with our second child, which would have been my first son. And that accident really focused me, because at that time, I was definitely just living day by day, having fun, just enjoying life a little too much. And, you know, that accident kind of locked me in and got me more focused on the important things, because I realized I was almost out of here. And I was gonna miss out on seeing my son, my first son being born. And it would have just really been devastating for my wife as well. So as I laid in the bed, you know, trying to recover, I made up my mind that I was gonna get out and be walking before my son was gonna be born. This was around September. I entered the VA rehab facility, and I was out and walking with no assistance, no nothing, by December, right before Christmas. My son was born January 9th. I was able to drive from Augusta, Georgia to Atlanta, Georgia, be there for his birth and hold him and walk around. And that right there motivated me to really focus on family, really focus on my responsibilities a little bit more. And it just really increased me being a man. And as those years went by raising him, we ended up having another kid, which is Tristan, our youngest. And those two are like pretty much my best friends, man. And I do everything I can to mentor them, teach them how to be a young man, teach them how to be just good human beings, period. And they're really heavy into sports, and that's where I am today. I do a lot of coaching now, I do a lot of training now, but being around them and their sports just kind of helped me to stay motivated, stay in shape, and it keeps me active, because there's so many days that I wake up and my leg is just hurting. I wake up, you know, feeling like, man, I can't do this today. And then I hear those little feet running around my house, or I hear some yelling and screaming. Now I know I gotta get up and handle business, so all that I can't do this today goes out the window, because I gotta be there for them. And they keep me motivated. There's been times where I felt I might have been sinking into depression, man, because I get so frustrated with not being able to do things the way I've been used to doing them because of my leg. But I don't use that as an excuse. I use that to motivate me a little bit more, to prove to myself that I can do these things. And believe it or not, as much as I coach and train, a lot of my parents don't even know that I'm, you know, a below the knee amputee, because of the way I still can move and perform on the basketball court. And when they find out, it's a total shock to them. And that right there, you know, keeps me motivated to keep doing what I'm doing. Right now, currently, I ended up here in Atlanta. I wasn't planning on retiring here. I was actually going to Florida. That's where I was actually going to retire, but things happened, things changed, so I ended up retiring here. And currently, I'm running my own basketball training business, Fundamentals of Basketball. Our focus is teaching these kids the fundamentals the right way. Dribbling, shooting, passing, defense, which a lot of trainers don't teach, but we focus on defense. Over the past 2 years, we've grown from 10 kids in our first session to averaging 25 a session. And of course, with the pandemic, you know, we've cut that down to only being able to allow 15 in our sessions. But To me, doing that training is, I think, my passion, my true calling, because I never saw myself at the age of 48 running around here showing these kids how to properly dribble a basketball, how to shoot, shooting mechanics, playing proper defense. At 48, I saw myself prepping myself to retire again, before I turned 50. But right now, my main focus is teaching these kids the fundamentals of basketball to where they can go and play basketball with anybody's team and be a full impact on that team. I really enjoy it. The biggest thing for me is seeing a kid that comes in here that never knew how to dribble, never knew how to shoot, and to see his development and confidence grow to where he's dribbling and shooting freely the right way. That's the biggest reward to me right now. I can't say enough about the support I've had from my family, my friends. Without them, I definitely wouldn't be here. But like I said, I believe this is what my calling is to, mentor these kids, train these kids. And like, our focus is not just on the basketball. We're teaching these young men and these young women how to be young men, how to be young women, how to carry yourselves, how to fight through adversity. Nothing on this basketball court that I teach you is gonna hurt you, but it's gonna help you. And it's life lessons that I teach within the basketball game that they carry forward into their own lives. So with that being said, once again, I'm Christopher Geiger, Coach Geiger the most. Fundamentals of basketball, that's me. You can find us on Facebook. It's the only symbol like this. It's the only training that kids gonna get developed properly, the right way. And I appreciate your time. I'm Christopher Geiger, head coach, owner, head trainer, fundamentals of basketball. And this is how I got here.